I have a lot of like old memories from those times. But those honestly were like the worst times in like Kara and I's like personal life, like financially and whatnot. It was like it was a struggle. Like Guild Wars 2 at that point was basically all we had. Because yeah, basically at that point I'd lost like my job and I'd made good money and didn't really have anything to work. I barely could afford, you know, the apartment. I had to sell my car. By the end of it all, we had like $2,000. That was all we had, and that's what we spent to move to Texas. You know what? Totally worth it. And I was like, you know, there's a lot of stories I have that people could learn from either my mistakes or just things that have happened that are just wild. You know, and I think that's one of them is like, you know, explaining the whole idea of like, yeah, I worked at Verizon when I got out of the Marine Corps, right? Like working, and I was making really good money, but the thing is, I put myself in that first year of working there, I put myself in like, yeah, like $50,000 worth of debt, something like that. It's at the time, like with my job, it was pretty good. That I mean, I was able to afford it, but when I got fired, which was my mistake too, by the way, I messed up at that age, and yeah, I ended up working. I couldn't get a job for a while, but then I started panicking because we had like all those bills. Yeah, so basically I ended up getting another job, but I was like making like 30% of what I made previously, so I couldn't keep up with anything. I was behind basically on all of my bills, and yeah, it was tough, mentally, physically, like the whole thing. I was like just destroying like my finances, credit score, everything, and that was back in 2018. Which was what, 4 years ago and stuff. But basically, like the lesson that I learned was like just to keep, you know, pushing myself into the direction that I want to go. And you know, sure enough, from 4 years, like it's possible. Like we went like that much in debt, you know, like 50,000, and you know, this year we got our first home. So like in 4 years time, I was able to dig, you know, we were able to dig ourselves out of that hole. So, you know, if you ever like stuck in one of those ruts where you just feel like everything's going down, just know that it will get better for sure. And you'll be able to make it through, and then hopefully 5 or 3, 4 years down the road, you'll be like, damn, like I did this even going through all that, you know? It's like PvP for sure. You know, I tanked my rating, and then we end up coming back and placing like plat 2. As you could tell, things are a lot better now that Chloe's got her own damn couch. I remember telling Kara, have I served you any good tea yet? Oh yeah, I gave her $2 so she could go buy a coffee. Does that count? Kara got $2 the other day. Big spender. Gave her for you know, a little something so she could get a snack at school. She actually returned it though. I ended up getting the $2 back. So do you just drag people into places? Damn, dude. I get called out like that. Damn. I don't know. I'm kind of having fun. We won't play Phasma tonight. Boys and girls, look, listen. All right. I have a threshold of how much time I can spend in one store, okay? I'm what you call a task-oriented shopper, meaning I have to go in, I know what I want, I find what I want, I get out. Right? I look maybe at 1 or 2 things and see like, okay, that's cool, like let's get the hell out of here, right? This happens with thrifting, right? with thrifting, it's like I'll take care of thrifting because she likes to go thrifting, and sometimes, you know, I find a lot of cool shit when we go thrifting, if I'm being quite honest. Like recently I found a couple like shirts that I thought were really cool, some pants, and I'll be like, hey, you know what? Let's go to a thrift store. Okay, we'll go, right? We'll be there. We go to one of her favorite ones, and all of a sudden it's like, okay, hour 1 passes, I'm good to go, right? I'm like still chilling, I'm shopping, I'm having a good time. Hour 2 comes. I'm like, all right, well, shit, like it's hour 2. I'm like, okay, I can hang on a little bit. Hour 3, and at that point it's like, damn, we must have been shopping, right? Like it's 3 hours. I'm like, damn, like we're about done, right? And she's like, what do you mean? I still have to go through half of the other women's clothing. And I'm like, oh fuck, I didn't expect to be here for 5 hours. And so after 5 hours, just like with anything, after 5 hours most of the time, I'll end up just getting real over it. This happened in Phasmo last night. See, yeah, Lardaram is the same with me, you know? Get what you came in for and bounce. That's what it is. Oh yeah, Val. God damn it. You're gonna have to kill me for that. Val, my mom runs her own business where she sells antiques. What's the coolest thing y'all found in an antique store? That's a good question, man. I have no fucking idea. The coolest thing I've ever found in an antique store. Yeah. I mean, maybe some old records. No, you know what? So there was like this really cool shirt I got. What is she selling through? She has a storefront. She sells them locally in our hometown. So are you talking like antiques, or? It's so interesting. I take my time shopping too. I don't want to get home with regret. God. Oh, old watches. Oh yeah, Zoj found a Burberry suit that was cool. I used to work in a thrift shop in a rich area. You won't believe the kind of stuff people throw away. Form Infinite. Oh, welcome. Dude, to be honest, no, like I 100% am with you on that, man. Because my parents would take us to like Camarillo and other parts of like LA and whatnot. Well, not LA specifically, just like the outskirts, like Valencia. And the thrift stores there would have some of the nicest shit I've ever seen in my life. Like, you're talking designer clothing, designer glasses. So I'd be like, damn, like this shit is great. But recently our thrift store has like, okay, so like the other day when we went thrifting, Kara took me thrifting. Well, I took her, but I found this really cool Harley Davidson jacket. Those things are like sell for like $200 plus for those jackets just by themselves on retail. But I was like kind of upset because the thrift store was selling it for 50 bucks, right? And I was like, bro, like seriously, you get this shit for free. Like, why are you selling this for $50? Like, someone donated this to you and you're just gonna rip me off. Well, not really rip me off, but still, like, come on. $50 at a thrift store, like, that's a lot. I've never seen that in my life. Watches are nice though. Yeah, I'd like to get some watches. You know what? I'm probably gonna buy an Apple Watch tomorrow because I need it for work. You guys are, yeah, Yarl's big into watches, which is, you know, funny that like you and Kara are basically one and the same when it comes to loving all that like slow shopping. I definitely believe in the phrase Pinoy time because like the military taught me to be super punctual. Basically, if you're on time, you're late. If you're 15 minutes early, you're on time, right? So like we'd be 15 minutes early to the 15 minutes early at times. And so like when someone's like, hey, we got a meeting at 4 p.m., right? Or we're going to go shopping at 4 p.m. I'm like, all right, cool. Like 4 p.m. I'll be there at 3:55 or whatever. And so nope, not her. I had to get used to that though. Being like, we're like 15 minutes late. Yeah, that's fine. Is it fine though? Yeah, it's okay. And then I start like, I don't know. It's so weird. I get like into these weird like tics where I start like freaking out because we're late. I don't know if that happens to anyone else, but it's definitely something that I've like had to grow and become accustomed to, like that whole like it's okay to be 5 minutes late to things, you know? Damn, you got hit up. Resellers would come into their shop and buy cheap and then resell. It's funny. I'm sure they did that because Kara and I were trying to do. Well, not trying. That was one of our plans when we. I forget where we were living. We've moved around so much, but basically we were gonna start doing that because she liked thrifting so much. I'm like, well, why don't we just make a profit out of it, you know? But the hardest part, like some of those guys, that's crazy. Like. You have to be really, really good at knowing what you're looking for. And it's a lot of work to sell it. And then I started realizing like, okay, if I buy these shoes, but then like our thrift store started getting smart, which is why I like that Harley Davidson one, where they priced that damn jacket at $50 to avoid like the whole resale thing, I think. Because if I could have got it for like, $10 or $20 for the jacket, yeah, that would have been a nice healthy profit. But making like $2 to $10 on some items, I mean, you definitely might be different for your thrift store because it's like a rich area, but yeah, it didn't work so much here in San Antonio. And we thought it would because they're like, oh, all the military people, when they leave, they just donate their stuff. Turns out they don't really have good stuff. But yeah, that was something I thought of doing for extra income. I made the mistake of watching Antique Roadshow. Some of the things they show got me thinking the next shop gonna have the big item. I will say we have found a lot of cool stuff, but it's taken some time. I think the best flip that Kara and I have had was she found some Gucci shoes at one of her thrift stores, and we bought them. I forget for how much, maybe like 10. I think it was like $10. And I was able to sell them online for like 120 or 150. So that's probably our biggest flip that we've had. I was hoping that more flips would happen like that, but they don't. And then I guess another thing too was like I didn't realize, like, for Kara, she doesn't want to thrift to like look to sell shit. She wants to thrift to enjoy it and look for stuff for herself. So like when we go to a thrift store, like if I was to go shopping to like make extra income, I'd be like in and out within 15 minutes of each thrift store. To just be like, damn bro, like 15 minutes here, I didn't find anything, go to the next one, go to the next one, go to the next one. And you know, maybe that way it's like, okay, within 2 hours times I was able to hit like 10 thrift stores and just scan through everything. But can't do that. Yeah, my mom does go like to estate sales all over California. In fact, she takes us whenever we go back. She basically brings us as her like labor, or like me mainly. She'll be like, hey, let's go get some lunch. I'm like, all right, mom. Like, yeah, let's go get some lunch. That's great. She'll take us to lunch. She's like, oh, but first we got to go pick up this table. And I'm like, are you kidding me? You could have just told me that. And now I feel like I got cheated out. You know, like you scammed me. And I got to go pick up this table and everything. And yeah.